He knows that he forgets things and he rambles and meanders and he gets frustrated and angry because he can't deal with the world like he used to be able to. He knows. I've talked many times about when Donald Trump is insecure about his cognition or people's perception of his cognition, he freaks out. And in this case, he brings it to a new level, which is threats, threatening mainstream corporate media outlets and others, which I think you know means people like me, not me specifically, but after having had Donald Trump block me on Twitter a few years ago, it certainly gives me a little pause. Unafraid, we will march forward, reading from Donald Trump's insane tweet, the likes of which no president could ever conceive of sending, relative to squelching the First Amendment of the Constitution of these United States of America. This is the same individual who has on the White House website right now a veritable media hit list, a searchable database of journalists Donald Trump disapproves of, taking up space on a government website, an absolute assault on the First Amendment and the independency of our journalists in this country. This is what he wrote, which, by the way, is really just taking a page out of Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA playbook, where they have a hit list of professors, a watch list of professors. This is from Donald Trump last night at 9:11 p.m. There has never been a president that has worked as hard as me. My hours, says the sleepy president. My hours are the longest. Apparently there's more hours in a day in Donald Trump's universe than there was during George Washington's time. My hours are the longest and my results are among the best. I've stopped 8 wars, capitalized for some reason, saving many millions of lives in the process, created the greatest economy, capitalized so you know he's serious about it, in the history of our country. I'll stop with the making fun of the capitalization, but you know, it's very difficult. Greatest economy in the history of our country, brought business back into the United States at levels never seen before, rebuilt our military, created the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts ever, closed our open and very dangerous southern border when previous administrations were unable to do so, and created an aura around the United States of America that has led every country in the world to respect us more than ever before. In addition to all of that, I go out of my way to do long, thorough, and very boring medical examinations at the great Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, seen and supervised by top doctors, all of whom have given me perfect marks. Some have even said that they have never seen such strong results. I can just hear David Pakman getting months and months of traction out of this with the strong and from the standpoint of never seen such strong results. I do these tests with a capital T because I owe it to our country with a capital C. In addition to the medical with a capital M, I'm just going to do it. In addition to the medical with a capital M, I have done something that no other president has done on 3 separate occasions, the last one being recently by taking what is known as a cognitive exam, something which few people would be able to do very well, including, by the way, let's just put this up on the side, just cover me, I guess, with what the cognitive test is that he took. You know, identifying the duck and the tiger and the horse. No president would be willing to try to identify these line drawings of animals. Only Donald Trump, the veritable genius, the stable genius, the brilliant mind of Donald Trump, he could only ascertain what this is. He connect the dots. Oh, look out, everybody. Donald Trump aced it. He connected the dots on this test that is administered to people with failing memory and diminished cognition to ascertain exactly what problem they have, how far gone their brain is. And our soft, smooth-brained moron of a president wants you to believe this is like the SAT or the GRE. Just keep it up on screen here, both of them. Aced all three of them in front of large numbers of doctors and experts, most of whom I do not know. I have been told that few people have been able to ace this examination that you see on screen. And in fact, most do very poorly, which is why many other presidents have decided not to take it at all. Despite all of this, the time and work involved, the New York Times and some others, read in there Jesse Dollemore, I guess. Yeah, I can self-aggrandize a little bit, no? Come on now. And some others like to pretend that I am slowing up, am maybe not as sharp as I once was, or am in poor physical health, knowing that it is not true. And knowing that I work very hard, probably harder than I have ever worked before. I know it seems like you're working hard. It's because your body is diminished. Your cognition is diminished. So it seems like it's harder, but it's not. You're slipping. You are a shadow of your former self, which was a shadow of what a normal person is already. I work very hard, probably harder than I ever worked before. I will know I am slowing up, but it's not now. After all of the work I have done with medical exams, cognitive exams, and everything else, I actually believe, he actually believes, it is seditious, perhaps even treasonous for the New York Times and others, self-aggrandizement here, my moment, to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean me, the President of the United States. I don't know why that's in quotes. You are the President of the United States. Why are you putting the fact that you're President of the United States in quotes, you fucking moron? You weak-brained idiot, you dolt, you piece of driftwood that just floated up onto shore and we glued some fucking googly eyes to it. You are the president. It's not needed to be in quotes. They are true enemies of the people, and we should do something about it, says the man with a veritable hit list on the White House website. They have inaccurately reported all of my election results. In fact, we're forced to apologize on much of what they wrote. The best thing that could happen to this country with a capital C would be if the New York Times would cease publication because they are a horrible, biased, and untruthful source of information. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again, says Donald Trump. Remember how many years ago it was, over 10 years now, that Donald Trump has been calling the New York Times the failing New York Times. When are they going to fail, Donald Trump? Is it going to be when you finally don't ace this insanely difficult test? Read list of words. Subject must repeat them. What are the list of words? Leg, cotton, school, tomato, white. He repeated them, and he got them right. He aced this. No other president would be able to repeat these words, leg, cotton, school, tomato, white, or man, woman, camera, whatever. Look, he's feeling bad because he feels insecure. He knows that he is losing a step or three. He knows that his cognition isn't great. He knows that he forgets things and he rambles and meanders and he gets frustrated and angry because he can't deal with the world like he used to be able to. He knows. That's why he's posting long, meandering, wild, threatening posts about do not talk about the dear leader's cognition. Do not talk about the 80-year-old's failing health. Do not talk about the makeup and then a Band-Aid and then more makeup on the hand. Don't talk about the fact that he struggles to walk up a slight incline while out there with his grandson. Don't talk about it because it's treasonous. It is what a traitor to the country, to the Constitution would do to talk about Donald Trump that way. Unfortunately for Donald Trump, it's only ass-lick Republicans who believe like this, who think it is treason to talk bad about the President of the United States. Anyway, what do you think? I welcome you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it. This can't simply be him trying to erase history, because these documents, they're not going to be deleted. They're not going to be erased. They're not going to be suppressed forever. But maybe it's just while he's alive, he doesn't want people to know the truth. Donald Trump's legacy, how he will be remembered by history, will be as an insurrectionist, as a chaos agent, as someone who attempted to overthrow the United States government on January 6, 2021, by way of trying to overturn a free and fair, settled American election in which he lost. And he dispatched an armed, racist, frothing, violent mob to the United States Capitol to hang Mike Pence and search ominously for Nancy Pelosi, ostensibly for her death too. These are the facts. This is the historical record. We all witnessed it. And Donald Trump is in a concerted effort to rewrite that history, to lighten, if you will, what his legacy will be, how he will be remembered. And he's going as far as to personally hide January 6 documents in order that injured Capitol police officers and metropolitan Washington, D.C. police officers do not get the justice they deserve. People who were injured in that violent mob insurrection at the United States Capitol. He's personally intervening to see that January 6 documents are not made public, which is an effort to cloud the record, the history of that day. Here's the headline from the New Republic. Trump personally intervenes to block release of January 6 documents. Donald Trump is blocking access in a lawsuit brought by police officers injured in the January 6 riot. Not a riot, New Republic. It was an insurrection. The Department of Justice has confirmed that President Donald Trump blocked the release of more than 4,100 documents related to the deadly riot on January 6th. I'm going to try to correct this in real time and replace the word riot with insurrection, because this is incorrect. In a court filing Monday night, lawyers for the DOJ revealed that Trump had stepped in to prevent the release of some materials requested as part of a lawsuit brought by police officers injured by violent insurrectionists at the U.S. Capitol. The materials were originally subpoenaed from the National Archives and Records Administration in February. The filing included the December 1st memo signed by Trump, which claimed the subpoena had requested an extremely broad set of materials and blocked the release of 4,152 documents. Quote, I have determined that the following records are subject to a constitutionally based claim of executive privilege. This privilege helps respect the separation of powers enshrined in the Constitution and the need for the President of the United States to receive candid and confidential advice in decision-making, the memo stated. Well, that is a very accurate depiction and explanation of what executive privilege is, but how does it apply here? How would the release of these documents impinge upon Donald Trump's right to get counsel, to get advice, confidential advice in the course of his decision-making? Or is the matter at hand that he does not want reality to see the light of day? He wants to be able to continue to lie about the Fedsurrection. He's having planted not journalists, MAGA activists who are cosplaying as journalists. He has them planted in cabinet meetings to ask questions about the Fedsurrection because he wants to rewrite history. Trump's memo asserted that claiming executive privilege did not waive other privileges, such as that for presidential communications, deliberative process, and attorney-client privilege. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson released a statement last week confirming that Trump had asserted executive privilege in response to overly broad discovery requests in this case, Politico reported at the time. Look, there are probably other metrics at play here. I would encourage your participation in this conversation. You can comment below. What other elements here are we facing down? This can't simply be him trying to erase history, because these documents, they're not going to be deleted. They're not going to be erased. They're not going to be suppressed forever. But maybe it's just while he's alive, he doesn't want people to know the truth. He knows that his days are numbered on this planet. Again, you don't have Big Mac sauce and turkey gravy coursing through your veins as blood and continue to live much longer than Donald Trump has up to this point. He's not long for this world, and he knows it. So I don't know. But this is the last paragraph here. With this action, Trump is directly blocking a case alleging that he helped to fuel the riot. In a 2022 ruling, U.S. District Court Judge Emmett Mehta, who is overseeing the current case, found that there were indications Trump may have been aware that some of his supporters were armed and had discouraged security checks. We've heard this. We know this. We know, we've seen the testimony. We've heard the testimony from the January 6th Select Committee that Donald Trump was furious that the ellipse was not filled with his supporters. And when they sought answers as to why, it was the fact that people didn't want to walk through the magnetometers with their weapons. And he said, take away the magnetometers. They're not here to hurt me. That might be a paraphrase, but it's a tight paraphrase. That is almost exactly what he said. It is certainly an accurate representation of what he meant when he talked about bring them all in. He's personally intervening in rewriting the history of the attempt to overthrow the United States government, period. What do you think? You can comment below the video wherever you're watching it.
And I said, we're going to bring back Christmas. Remember, the radical left wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. I said, I don't think that's going to work out.
So Trump took to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to give an economic address at a rally. Whenever Donald Trump starts feeling a little down, whenever Donald Trump starts feeling a little bad, he needs a psychic boost. He needs an ego boost, a self-esteem, a jolt to the system. And so he goes out and does a rally, and he surrounds himself with frothing, racist, xenophobic, fear-fueled MAGA crowds. And he did it yesterday too. In this economic address, where he explains to the crowd in this first clip that your kids can go without. They don't need X number of dolls or even X number of pencils. They can have two pencils. Yeah, that's good for them. Or no more than 3 dolls. That's good for them. The man who lived in a high-rise penthouse, he owned the building that his apartment sat atop, overlooking Central Park, clad in gold and ostentatiousness, giving giant stuffed animal lions to his son and little Mercedes-Benz mechanical cars, living in a gold palace. He wants the guy who never flies commercial and hasn't for decades and decades and decades. The guy who travels now via Air Force One and soon via the $400 million gift from the Qataris. He wants you to know that your daughter only needs 3 dolls. Only 2 pencils. Let that sink in this holiday season. Watch this.
The one thing you need steel. You know, you can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. Because under the China policy, you know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need 1 or 2, you know. They don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need 37 dolls for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need 37 dolls. So we're doing things right. We're running this country right.
You hear that? The billionaire says your kids don't need that much. Your kids can go without. Your grandkids can go without because steel is important, I guess. What a great message leading into Christmas, just days away. Nothing says Merry Christmas more than your kids can go without. Merry Christmas, kids. Here's your cup with 2 pencils. Merry Christmas. Which apparently is back again. Feeling a little sensitive about his position in the political zeitgeist. People talking about Epstein too much. People are talking about his soft, smooth brain too much. Merry Christmas is back, everybody. Even though it never was gone. Here's Donald Trump. Just seriously, all of this is just in the morass, in the stew of distractions for Donald Trump. The pencils, the economy, and even Merry Christmas.
I just want to say hello, Pennsylvania, and I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. So am I. I'm a proud hard worker. I'm a proud patriot, but you're a proud patriot. Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great reception. You know, we're on to expose what happened recently when we took over. You know, it's 10 months. And already we have the largest investment ever made in the history of, not our country, of any country anywhere in the world. Think of that. But let me begin by wishing each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of that stuff. Remember when I started in 2015, I made my first speech, and I said, we're going to bring back Christmas. Remember, the radical left wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. I said, I don't think that's going to work out. And we did it, and now everybody's saying Merry Christmas again.
I love that the crowd laps this up. They want this to be true so badly that they will just suspend reality. Remember, the radical left wanted to get rid of them. They wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. No one wanted to get rid of the word Christmas. No one said it was bad to say Merry Christmas. No one. It's not a thing that happened. In fact, the most radical left person that Donald Trump can conjure in his brain, of course, is our first black president, Barack Obama. And he famously didn't say Merry Christmas, right? Isn't that it? Or did he say it a whole bunch and all the time because he's a Christian and he celebrates Christmas? This is from a video that I'm going to just play you a really quick mashup of Obama. This is something that we've been talking about certainly since Christmas Eve in 2016, when I posted this video that, well, you'll notice not a single white hair in my beard at the very end and the beginning of this clip. So it tells you how long ago it was. But watch this. Watch Obama not saying Merry Christmas.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
We want to say Merry Christmas to everybody.
A very, very Merry Christmas and a holiday filled with joy. I want to wish every American a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So clearly there wasn't a war. It's just so stupid. It is absolutely lunacy because it is just the clearest distraction attempt that could be made is leaning back into culture war nonsense from a decade ago, from a fucking decade ago. Donald Trump said, we're going to bring Merry Christmas back. We can finally say Merry Christmas, even though the president we'd had for 8 years, year after year after year, Christmas after Christmas after Christmas, holiday season after holiday season after holiday season, said Merry Christmas, y'all. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hey, here's Obama saying Merry Christmas. It's Merry Christmas. But these people lap it up. These idiots, this frothing crowd that then descended later on into racism, which we'll get to, against the Somali community in Minnesota. This Pennsylvania crowd knows nothing about Minnesota, yet they know they love to hate black people. They know they love to hate Muslims. They know they're afraid of people who wear different religious and cultural clothing than them. They know that. Gross. Lunatics. The crowd included. The crowd included. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can ride into the comments on your giant stuffed lion. He needs the entire list of things and banners around the city and memorials, and he wants a peace prize. He got a soccer prize. I mean, it's pathological at this point. I want to share with you the headline of the article that I want to talk about today. But before I do, I got to thinking last night when preparing for the story that, man, there's a lot of things that when held in a vacuum and just on each individual level, like for instance, Donald Trump hanging banners all over the city with his face on them. It's like, that's one thing. Donald Trump naming Trump RX after himself with a weird website. That could be, that's one thing. But in collection, there's a pattern emerging here with Donald Trump renaming everything all over the city after himself and really trying to act like a dictator, like a fascist would, relative to even putting his face on money. And that's the headline here. And then I'm going to give you the entire list that there's probably others. In fact, I want to crowdsource here and have you write in the comments, tell me what I missed from this list. But here's the headline from The Independent that we're going to talk about. Democrats push to ban Trump's plan to put himself on a new $1 coin. Trump's self-celebrating maneuvers are authoritarian actions worthy of dictators like North Korea's Kim Jong-un, not the United States of America, one Senate Democrat said. And it really did get me to thinking of all the things that Donald Trump is either renaming in his honor or naming after himself, or just doing fascist, Hitler-esque dictator shit all over the city. And again, when in a list, in a compilation, it becomes more troubling than if you just hear about one thing and then there's one thing over here. I mean, the Republicans, they're ready to alter the United States Constitution, to amend our list of 27 amendments, to add another to allow Donald Trump to run for a third term. People at his rallies are wearing Trump 2028 hats. Donald Trump, months ago, started hanging banners all over the city with his face on them. And it became such a thing that the Heritage Foundation got in on it, and they hung a giant banner on the side of like this apartment building that's connected to their headquarters. They must own that apartment building. Because after Charlie Kirk was shot, the racist Christian nationalist bigot Charlie Kirk, when he was assassinated, that same spot was festooned, is that the word, with a giant Charlie Kirk banner about what a hero he was. These banners are all over. They've redesigned I'm going to read from my list. They've redesigned the National Park Service entry cards to have Donald Trump on multiple of these cards. Trump's face on National Park Pass is illegal, experts say. Donald Trump is now making his birthday a holiday. I mean, we saw the disaster that it was his birthday parade with the squeaky tanks and the soldiers, the military members marching out of step. It was just, he was asleep during it. He wants his birthday to be something special. So special, in fact, that he has removed 2 federal holidays from a list of free entry to national parks. His birthday is now one of them, but has removed Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I just talked about this last week. And also Juneteenth, for us to aggrandize his birthday. We must recognize the birthday of the dear leader. There's now Trump savings accounts for kids. His name is on them. The aforementioned Trump RX with this coming soon website, coming January 2026, Trump RX. He has changed the H-1B visa to the Trump card, where you can pay like $5 million and have the Trump card, which is just a permanent residence card. His face on it. It's gold. It's weird. Republicans have put a bill forward to change the name of Dulles International Airport here outside of Washington, D.C. to Donald J. Trump International Airport. He's renamed the Institute of Peace to the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace, while there are allegations swirling about war crimes that he and Pete Hegseth have committed. He wants to rename RFK Stadium here in Washington, D.C., where the Commanders are going to play after the stadium is rebuilt. He wants to change the name to Donald J. Trump Stadium. And then, of course, with the Kennedy Center honors that just happened, there has been talk of renaming it to the Trump Kennedy Center, or eventually, I'm sure it'll just be the Donald J. Trump Center for the Performing Arts. Which leads us to this illegal coin that they want to put his face on. A group of Senate Democrats have put forward legislation that would prevent the government from minting coins featuring the likeness of President Donald Trump. The bill, called the Change Corruption Act, was introduced by Senators Jeff Merkley of Oregon and Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada Tuesday, Punchbowl News reported. Co-sponsors include lawmakers Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and Ron Wyden of Oregon. Quote, no U.S. currency may feature the likeness of a living or sitting president, the bill states. Merkley compared Trump to global autocrats for his attempt to get his face on a coin. President Trump's self-celebrating maneuvers are authoritarian actions worthy of dictators like North Korea's Kim Jong-un, not the United States of America, the Oregon senator told Punchbowl News. However, given the GOP majority in both chambers of Congress and Trump's firm control over his party, the bill faces a slim chance of becoming law, and then he would have to sign the law. You think he's going to sign a bill that prohibits him from putting his face on our currency? A living human being on our currency, alongside of Benjamin Franklin and Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Ulysses S. Grant, Andrew Jackson, who hated paper money, and they still put his fucking face on the 20? Come on. In October, the U.S. Mint announced plans to create commemorative $1 coins bearing Trump's likeness in honor of America's 250th anniversary next year. The Mint's website lists 3 designs, 2 of which include headshots of Trump, which you're looking at right now, while a third has his side profile. All have phrases, "In God We Trust" and 1776 to 2026. An earlier draft of the coin, circulated by the U.S. Treasurer Brandon Beach, bore an image of Trump following the 2024 assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. In the design, Trump's fist is raised in the air, and the phrase "fight, fight, fight" is wrapped around the edge. Now, you might say, this is petty bullshit. Who really cares? But this is illegal. This is against current law, current U.S. code. There are already U.S. laws which seem to prevent living presidents from appearing on American currency. I guess this is the title in the U.S. code which seems to prevent. Title 31 of U.S. Code states, quote, only the portrait of a deceased individual may appear on United States currency and securities. The Thayer Amendment, passed in 1866, also prohibits living individuals from appearing on U.S. currency, according to ABC News. Donald Trump is an insecure weakling. He needs being president of the United States of America is one of 46 people who have ever held the office. 46. Because Grover Cleveland, or would it be 45? Got to do the numbers here. It's 45 or 46. Because Grover Cleveland was, just like Donald Trump, president twice, out of order. So it's not the 40. Anyway, you get the point. It's not enough for Donald Trump. Being president didn't fill the void in his soul, in his heart, that tortures his ego and self-esteem. It didn't do enough. He needs the entire list of things and banners around the city and memorials, and he wants a peace prize. He got a soccer prize. I mean, it's pathological at this point. It's a diagnosable mental illness that Donald Trump has. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. I don't believe that it's just petty political drama. I believe these things have import for our lives because it really speaks to the people we elect to lead us.
She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
MAGA, look, when Hillary Clinton said that 50% of them or whatever, a basket of deplorables, she wasn't wrong. And all of their consternation and, oh, harumph, that old lady, I can't believe she said that about us. It just blows my mind because last night at Donald Trump's hate rally, the crowd began chanting, "Send her back," speaking of American citizen Ilhan Omar. At his behest. He didn't lead the chant, but he certainly didn't stop him. He didn't say, no, listen, we need to have respect for all American citizens. We are a melting pot. We are a multicultural country where everybody's perspective is important, where everybody's contribution is important. Being an American is special. So special that when you gain citizenship, we should all put our arms around one another as Americans and come to some commonality about how to lead. He didn't say any of that because that's not in him. He's gleeful that they're chanting, "Send her back," as he demonizes this citizen, American congresswoman, elected by a district of constituents. Watch this. And then let's move on to really just racism and bigotry. And I mean, this is a white supremacy rally that took place last night. Here is him demonizing and I guess setting the stage to send Ilhan Omar back to Somalia, which she is not a citizen of.
We have people from all over the world being dumped into our country, the people that aren't wanted in their countries, by the way. I think that's a great, like Somalia. Welcome. Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing, they have no police. They police themselves, they kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is it too difficult? Fewer letters in her name than yours, Donald Trump. With her little turban, she comes in, does nothing but bitch. We ought to get her the hell out. The President of the United States vowing to deport, it's not something you can do to a citizen, but deport an American citizen. She's here illegally, he says. While they chant, "Send her back." While they chant, "Send her back," with this fucking dipshit in the back of the crowd, with a Make America Holy Again hat on. Pumping his fist, send her back, just like Jesus would do. Ilhan Omar is 43 years old. She's been in the United States since she was roughly 12 years old. She's been a citizen for nearly 26 years. Certainly has been a United States citizen, an American, longer than some of the idiots in the crowd who are born here, who are 25 years old. She's been an American longer than them. Is she less an American because she was not born here? That she's a naturalized citizen? I would say no. If being an American is special and different and unique, then should we not celebrate it? Disgusting. The other thing he did, which really should lead us to understand that when Donald Trump denies something that's being reported, it's not fake news. He's a fucking liar. Because in this next clip, he retails the tale of calling countries like Somalia shithole countries, African nations, black and brown, predominantly inhabited countries are shitholes because they're not white. And he denied it at the time. Remember these headlines before I play the clip, actually. CNN, Trump denies making shithole countries comment. Here's the Guardian. Trump denies shithole countries remark, but senator asserts he said it. Donald Trump said he used tough language, but denies using the specific phrase. And remember how the basket of fucking deplorables, these racists, these xenophobes, these MAGA cult members, they defended him. No, that's fake news. Donald Trump says he didn't say it. I believe him. He didn't say it. And now you all have egg on your face. Donald Trump is humiliating you because you defended him. And now he's admitting, yeah, I said that. Of course I said that. I'm a fucking piece of garbage. I'm a racist. Of course I said that these are shithole countries. Here he is, not in so many words admitting it, but he didn't say the things I just said. He did it in his own Donald Trump way. Watch this.
I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shithole, you did. Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
I didn't say shithole, you did. And then proceeds to say, I said that to the senators, the Democrats. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. I said, why is it we only take people from shithole countries? He admits it. And if you were a rube enough to believe his denial, there's little hope for you. All of my regular trolls who watch. I would love some kind of mea culpa. Some kind of like, yeah, I was wrong. I defended him, but yeah, he said it. I called the fake news the enemy of the people because they said he said it. They reported he said it and he denied it, but they were the enemy because they reported on it. He didn't say it then, but now I guess he said it. While calling for the removal, the deportation, however they're going to get Ilhan Omar out, as the crowd is whipped into a frenzy cheering at send her back. This is Nazi shit. This is white ethno-state creation shit from the President of the United States of America, a man who there's never a cross word for from Republicans. Silence is complicity, Republicans. If you stand by and say, oh, I didn't watch the news, sorry, I didn't see it, I'm just a dumb who doesn't know anything about what's going on in the country, but yes, I'm a political leader and I have your futures, your welfare in my hands relative to the votes that I take. But yeah, I don't know about the things that are controversial. It's just gross. It's gross. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. Let's have it in the comments below the video. If you're on Facebook, make sure you're liking and following the Dollemore Daily on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. It is free to do both of those things.
You just said you backed the blue. The police quote you in this report as you calling them effing idiots and effing incompetent while stating that you're an effing representative.
One thing that is depressing to watch, but also amusing at times to watch, is the fact that the Republican Party has just been turned into a loose grouping of performance artists. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Troy Nehls and Jim Jordan and James Comer. These goobers, it's all a performance. It's all an act for their dear leader as they curtsy to Donald Trump. And Nancy Mace is maybe one of the worst, just a breathless chaos agent. They all act like they support the troops, and then they denigrate the troops, and they cut the budgets of the troops. They go like Nancy Mace right now is out there putting all kinds of memes and political ads out about all of these millions and billions of dollars that she secured for the state of South Carolina to fund infrastructure projects and other such government-funded projects, even though she voted against the legislation that provided for that appropriation, that appropriated those millions and billions of dollars for her state. She voted against it and is now acting like, I did my job in Congress to get this money for South Carolina. Please elect me governor. And the other thing she's just a wicked, sickening liar about is her love of the police. There was an incident at an airport, I think last Thursday, during which she berated the TSA and the police. She freaked out and was ranting and raving so much that she didn't shut the fuck up until she got to her plane and boarded. I'm going to read a headline and 2 paragraphs from this article, and then I've got a clip from CNN that is just bananas, with her talking to Caitlin Collins last night, trying to defend the things that she says that are completely countervalant, if you will, it's contrary to the things that she says about supporting the cops. Now she's calling them liars while still trying to maintain. Well, she doesn't call them liars. She goes, you're still calling them liars? No, I'm not calling them liars. I'm saying that's false. Yeah, we're going to parse the words, Nancy. Anyway, here's the headline from the Washington Post. Nancy Mace berated airport police and TSA agents, incident report says. The report claims Nancy Mace called officers incompetent and accused them of mistreating her, because it's always the fucking victim Olympics with these people. Representative Nancy Mace, Republican of South Carolina, who is running for governor of her state, berated police officers and Transportation Security Administration officials at Charleston International Airport on Thursday, according to an incident report from the Charleston Airport Police. Quote, she repeatedly stated, we were fucking incompetent, and we don't have to bleep. Let's just this video. We'll leave it, leave Nancy Mace to her actual words here. She repeatedly stated we were fucking incompetent, and this is no way to treat a fucking U.S. representative, PFC Aaron W. Reed, who serves with the airport police, wrote in the report. Reed also wrote that Mace told officers they, quote, would never treat Tim Scott like this, referring to the U.S. senator from the state and former GOP presidential candidate, and reported that she planned to contact, quote, Elliot and tell him how horrible she has been treated, in reference to the airport's president and CEO, Elliot Summy. And then this final Reed wrote that Mace was cursing and complaining as officers escorted her to the gate, and she continued her tirade until boarding. I don't know. Listen, having grown up in poverty and being poor, and I just don't understand entitlement. It is a foreign language, the likes of which I will never learn. I don't understand it. I pride myself in being a regular I was at a political conference one time, and I was standing in line for like the next session, the next lecture, the next whatever. And people came up to me and like, why are you waiting in line? I'm like, why would I not wait in line? What am I, George fucking Clooney or something? I don't understand entitlement. Regular person. Just because more people know who I am than maybe know who you are doesn't make me special. But these people believe it does. She believes she's beyond the rules. She believes she's entitled to special treatment, different treatment. I'm a United States representative. Yeah, get in fucking line, lady. You're not special. In fact, you're less special than other people. This is her with Caitlin Collins on CNN last night, really trying to play cleanup here, because this is not a good look. Even in South Carolina among the Republicans, they're going to see right through this bullshit. That she is mistreating the cops. There's probably a lot of people in Charleston, which isn't a giant city, who know this cop, this Aaron W. Reed, the airport cop. And they're going to take his word over hers because they've seen her track record. Here she is with Caitlin Collins on CNN, really doing her best to play cleanup here.
Seriously, and you know, that to me is very, very important. And I back the blue, I back our police, I back our security. You know, in my district in South Carolina, I've gotten millions of dollars for local law enforcement to support them in their efforts to keep our community safe. But what's not okay is falsifying reports, falsifying incident reports. I've taken on top cops like Kim Cheadle after Donald Trump was shot. I helped get her, force her resignation when she came through with the oversight.
You just said you backed the blue. The police quote you in this report as you calling them effing idiots and effing incompetent while stating that you're an effing representative and telling a TSA supervisor, I'm sick of your shit. I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. Also, you guys are always effing late and this is effing ridiculous. Are you saying you didn't say those things?
Well, you're quoting a document that was in part falsified. They say a lot of things and the video doesn't show that. There's no audio. I asked for all the body cam footage and the audio. They also state in the report that there was an incident at the gate. The video shows nothing that didn't happen. And so for me, it's important that we tell the truth. And I've taken responsibility. Yes, I was absolutely 100% frustrated.
But did you say those things that you're that I just read?
No, I did not. I mean, I definitely.
So you're saying the police officers are lying?
No, I'm saying that is in part false. And that is a falsified document. There are things in there, most of what's in there that's quoted is not true. So that to me is important that we tell the truth. I asked for audio and I asked for body cam footage and they didn't release it. They say it doesn't exist. I asked for that because I think it's important that we tell the truth and show. I don't even remember that morning, but what I do remember is being at the gate and being on a conference call. And like last time I checked.
You don't remember having this tense interaction?
Oh, I definitely was frustrated, 100% frustrated. I definitely, when the law enforcement finally showed up for the security detail, I absolutely was frustrated. But the video that they released are showing me asking for help. Like I asked TSA agents for help when I was looking for security.
Well, there's also part of the video, there's where you speaking to a TSA agent. There's also part of the video where you're walking down the hallway and there are two officers behind you. I assume they're the ones who spoke to the
and where I'm pointing, I was pointing to a security desk where the airport security usually sit and wait. And I was asking the TSA agent if she could call down to the security desk and get assistance for me. So like that's not asking TSA for help isn't against the law.
But are you saying that you never said any of these quotes? That every single one is a lie?
You have to read it to me again. I did not say that. I did not call them
idiots. You're an effing representative.
I did not say that. I did not.
And you didn't say, I'm sick of your shit. I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. You guys are always effing late. This is effing ridiculous.
No. I mean, no. I've never called a cop an idiot. That is a remarkably false statement.
You're saying these police officers are lying then who spoke to the investigators?
I am absolutely saying that report was falsified, 100% fictitious, falsified. They were not there. They did not show up. I was very frustrated with the situation.
Again, entitlement. I mean, the article, the part of the article from which I read didn't include the things that Caitlin Collins read back to her. That you're idiots, effing incompetent, while stating that you're an effing representative and telling the TSA supervisor, I'm sick of your shit. I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. Why should you not have to wait, regular person? Being a congresswoman does not make you immune from the inconveniences that the rest of us little people have to suffer through. Your work is not so, if your work was so important that you needed to be somewhere before someone else, the government would provide you a jet. If there was an emergency underway, you would have your transportation dealt with. Instead, you're flying commercial because that's what the rest of us do. And your job's not that important. You're not that important. But you are entitled. You do feel that way. The Republican Party, for all of their murmuring about participation trophies, they sure do want participation trophies. They sure do want to be treated special and different without actually doing the work to make themselves special or different. Gross. Un-American, to use a phrase that is so commonly used by Republicans. Do your duty, do your role, play your role, be like the rest of us, Nancy, because you're not special. In fact, you should be punished for this. The people of South Carolina should be smart enough to know you're not it. You're not it. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation, especially if you are a resident of South Carolina, a voter in South Carolina. I would definitely love to hear from you. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me. If you appreciate what I do, if I bring you value on a day-to-day basis with any number of videos that I do, I would appreciate if you would help support this work in independent media that I do. Help me. You can help me produce these videos and reach millions of people. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member on YouTube, or even better, you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I'm going to go. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.